Hey there. So I can't add you because you started the meeting. Otherwise, I could have added you. So I'll do it for the ones moving forward, but there's an option for me to be able to make you the co-host now that you've accepted the invite. So I'll just hand over rights to you now. But the next time, after this meeting is closed because it's on a recurring, Dwayne, I'll have to wait for this meeting to be over, and then for the recurring series, I'll add you as co-host, and you'll have all the rights. Sound good? Uh-oh. Was I
Hear
talking?
me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can now. Sorry. I was like, uh-oh. Was I talking to myself?
You talk to yourself.
Okay, hold on. Did you hear what I said, though? I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah, I heard you say it. Yeah.
And I'm in it right now, so I see it, and it's like the only reason it won't let me is because the meeting has already started. So let me just hand over host tools. Okay, advanced. Where is my hand over? Sorry, it's weird on the phone. I hope it's not too loud. I ducked in here, so okay, hold on. I'm just gonna for
Okay.
a sec, yeah. All right, done and done, sir.
All right. We'll see you later. Enjoy your time.
Rocket, and then let me know when we can connect because I would love for us to get our standing back on the calendar.
All right. So I gave people a few minutes. It's 7:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to give you a few more minutes to come on in here. Just want to test and make sure the sound is looking good. Looks like the sound is okay. All right. The sound is looking good. The images are looking good. How do I look? Am I looking okay, y'all? I hope so. Hey, yeah. So anyway, listen, we are talking about friction, and this is practical information for you to be able to use. Let me see if we've run into any problems, right? This is a practical AI Encore. We build these every Thursday night from 7 p.m. to 7:45, 8 p.m. This is all about you figuring out how you can leverage AI in this AI space of automation. And what we're building out is agents. But before you build the agent, you got to know some things about that agent and why you want to build it a certain way. And so these weekly builds also connecting you to our Commons Academy. The Commons Academy is the place to go. I'm going to put the link in the comments here, also in the chat, and that way you can kind of grab that. And wherever you're watching this, if you're watching on the replay or you're watching it live, it's up to you to decide how you want to participate. If you have any questions, of course, put them in the chat, or I really hope that you just raise your hand, or down at the bottom you can react right under the reactions, and you can do some things on there, or you can just raise your hand, or you say, hey, come off mute and just ask the question. We have a small group of people, and so we're not going to get too caught up on who raised their hand first and all that stuff. We just want to give you an opportunity to really get your questions answered. All right. So if you got a chance to check in earlier today, hopefully that was cool. We have both of these recordings on going to be available, and you can participate at whatever level you want. And if you join the Commons Academy, you can get some of this access for free. We're going to be showing you that. Then there are some paid opportunities there. So I'm going to be sharing my screen so you can see exactly what I am referring to. So let me go ahead and open up my screen. I'm going to be doing a major demo today. I'm going to be doing a lot of like training. It's actually a live build, live information, and I really want to help you see how this can help you, how this can help your company save you some money. And so in the commonsacademy.com, you'll get it, you'll join, and you can join for no cost, or you can decide which membership you would like to participate in. And then once you do, you're going to come to a landing page and you're going to have some information. But part of it is the tools that we have on the inside, specifically for those who are looking for ways to build out their agent, to build out their business, and to really see some changes, dynamic changes when it comes to your particular business. Now, before you automate anything, one of the things you want to do is figure out, well, what jobs do I need to outsource, right? So, what kind of activities on a regular basis would you need to do when it comes to the type of business that you have? And so tonight we're going to just create a workflow from a generic business. I'm going to call it a sales organization. And this sales organization sells a product that is very new to the market and has global appeal, but right now is only in the East Coast, and we want to move it to the West Coast. Okay. So I have a friend of mine who has a business. I'm going to mock it after her business, but it's not going to be specifically this particular thing. As a matter of fact, someone gave me a really cool product called the UV cleaner. And so I'm going to pretend that we have the UV cleaner plus. And this is a toothbrush cleaner, right? Where it uses UV light in order to make sure that we get that out to market on a regular basis. So that's going to be um, our work tonight, our example our sample business as we move forward. Okay, you can use whatever business you want. I would say you take what you're doing right now and you put it through this particular process. So when you come to the library, let me go back out. Right, you come to the library. There are many things that you can do here. Okay, what do you want to do? And pick a goal. Write my voice. Build a repeatable system. Find my archetype. You can do that in a couple of minutes, right? Make a hard call. Use AI safely. Maybe you have conversation around, what's the right way and the bad way, guardrails, things of that nature, right? And inside the member portal, which we talked about, you can get access to some other things. And then take the 3-minute archetype quiz. It's right here. You just push the button and do it. Workday wins, win customers, serve customers, lead the team, protect your business. These are all the things you can pick to get started when you want to move forward. So we start with the end in mind and what is it that you want to accomplish, and then we back up. There are some freebies inside here, right? The foundation toolkit, the second brain starter card, which we talked about. We started week 1 on these particular items. We've talked about my voice card and we've talked about the fence card. So we've actually gone through many of these specific opportunities for you. All right. And then you have the 1 seed, 5 outputs, which we did last week. I showed you how you take 1 seed, turn it into 5 different things. And I actually showed you how to exponentially grow that using a number of different tools, but we specifically singled out how to use it when it comes to neurodivergent learners and individuals getting multiple messages through 5 different methods, right? And so 1 message, 5 methods, and that we turned that into something really powerful with the same voice, right? And so we got that going on, and then we got the shape card, the weekly rituals. These are things that you do every day. 15-minute window that you practice to make yourself improve. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect, practice improves. All right, and so tonight we're here with this other free tool, which is called the Find Your Friction Scorecard. And this is a printable card, so you can actually do the work and then download it and have it for your meeting. Maybe have it for your supervisor. Maybe have it for your boss. Maybe have it for yourself because you're trying to figure out what's the best method for me to get the most value out of building an agent. And so if you're building an agent, you want to know what is it saving you, right? You don't want to just build agents just to build them, right? You know that you got to put information out there for looking through emails. Maybe you have to spend time crafting a message. Maybe you have to craft an ad. Okay. Whatever those things are, those are called friction points because there are ways that you can see that money might be lost or gained based on that situation, but in most cases, lost, right? And if you can figure out how to find out how much it costs, then your analysis will allow you to now, seek out funds and other things in order to make sure that you're covering the cost. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to find your friction scorecard. Again, here go to you have information here from earlier. We last week we had Fence-It, we had the superpowers, right? So you can go with the Encore right in here. Fence-It, one pager safely, right? Keep it sensitive data out of AI. And we're going to be adding more all the time to this library, but you have that information right there. So over here, we're going to open, right? And so we're going to find the friction card. It's going to open up to this. It says, put it to work, locate the drag, free the rest, right? So what is the source of friction this week? And then we're going to drag it through. We're going to push it through. We're going to give it through. We're going to make it through. We're going to find that drag and figure out what's the big price mistake. How much is it costing us? Then again, we already talked about gating it, writing it, and leaving it and making, we're going to get to the finish line where you can have something to take away. So it tells you here exactly what to do. What's your three things that you can do? Only things that you do. Three things only you can do for your company, right? These everything below protects them while freeing the rest of the week. So you're gonna tap in, right? Tap to type. So I don't know, maybe it is your morning briefing, your morning briefing, right? Another thing you might say I must do is deposit money from sales. All right, if you're an independent person, maybe your thing is you have to make a post. I don't know. What are your three things that only you can do for your business? I'm taking this one through today, right? I'm taking this one through today, and today we're gonna do make a post, right? Post. All right. So boring weekly beats flashy rare if the free fiction calculator already named at the top. And we got a calculator. I'm going to bring that up in a bit. Price the mistake, one sentence. If a draft of this went out wrong, unread, what happens and who pays? Okay. We lose money. No sales. And it says who pays and the customer gets or service. All right. And then we're going to gate it. We're going to check out what's true about this. I've done it three or more times, basically the same way every day, pretty much. I could explain it in a new way, one pager, probably, right? A wrong draft is cheap to catch. I can check the results in 1 minute, maybe. Then the inputs are mine and clean, easy to scrub first, possibly. Nobody's money, feelings, trust, rise. I'm going to leave those blank because basically it is going to cost you money. And then maybe it's not going to be in 1 minute, so I'm not going to put that. All right, hand it off this week, fix the missing situation, shrink the task down into multiple tasks or smallest pieces, or check it if it's yours, right? And so when I think about these things, these are the scores, right? And then write a one-page handoff draft. What good looks like, okay? Clear, actionable information. All right. The steps in order: draft, review, and send for final approval. Okay. All right. I will read every output, name the day, time, or trigger, right? So I would do this 7 a.m. daily, right? Hand off the repeatable, keep the judgment, hand it off. And then what we do is we will create it. And now you got a card because we answered all the questions. We figured out what we're going to do. And then we can go ahead and we can save it or we can go ahead and print it out. That's what we would do with the results. So let's go over and figure out what it really means to get the results, right? So I'm going to cancel that. Just wanted to show you how you could fill this out and walk through this process. This is your friction scorecard. And then it's printable, downloadable, and you walk off with it. So what you saw earlier though is that we're going to go to the friction index calculator. And this is where the magic happens. All right. This is where the magic happens. And so we go over here. Let me click on it again. And it says, hey, friction index tracker. Before you automate anything, see what repetitive work is costing you in dollars and cents, right? There's 3 steps that only take you 2 minutes. These 2 minutes can be saving you thousands and thousands of dollars every day. All right. This is a diagnostic tool that works for you. So we're going to do step 1, step 2. So I'm going to just again use some arbitrary numbers. I don't have anyone that's raised their hand, but taking meeting notes and writing recaps. Sometimes that could be very tedious. And when we say that, we're going to say how many hours lost every week. All right. And let's just say we're going to get the sweet spot around 5 hours, right? Taking notes, writing recaps. All right, let's just even go 3 hours. Formatting the docs and decks and posts and all that could take us hours. Think about it. You write something, you send it to somebody, somebody sends it back. You reiterate it, you format it. They missed something. Oh, you forgot the logo. Whatever you're doing, by the whole time you finish, you've already done one whole day of work. You haven't finished, and then you're into the next day of work. So let's just say you get somewhere around 12 o'clock the next day. Writing how-to docs and updating team processes. Let's just, for the sake of time, say this person only takes 3 hours to do that. And tracking competitors and reading industry updates. That should be something that you do on a regular basis, at least an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon, because everything's changing. So we're going to just say 3 times a day, 6 hours, right? And then we say, hey, a few numbers about your work. Tell us your hourly rate and how many weeks per year this work runs, right? And so for our purpose, we're here. We're going to just say the person makes, I don't know, uh, let's see, 20, 30, let's go with $50 an hour. That's not a bad rate, right? And then working weeks per year, because we got holiday weeks, we're going to say 46. And back and forth chat turns to get, how long it takes to get a good answer. I'm going to say 6. A lot of back and forth. What does this mean right now? So in plain English, and here's what we're going to see. We could change this to 1, right? Change this to 6, change this to 7, right? Maybe we change this week to 45 weeks, right? I want you to see what's happening. When we go up in the hourly rate, let's say it's a CEO and it's 100 and something, right? $160 an hour. All right, you see that? Based on your inputs right now, you're losing about 24 hours every week to this kind of work. Roughly $172,800 a year based on this rate of $160. Let's just say the person only makes $100 an hour, right? Still the same amount of weeks and the same amount of iterations. $108,000 a year is being lost. Same amount of hours, again, 6 backs and forths. All the AI reads 13,920 words. Now, again, conversations with AI cost money. It's not money itself, it's credits. and you're paying credits. So sometimes you might run out of credits and now you got to pay some more. So this number right here is actually could go up. But I see, as you see, we're talking about taking notes, we're talking about formatting things, we're talking about writing docs, and we're doing this on a repetitive basis, right? This is all part of your everyday workflow. So I want you to put in the chat or wherever you're commenting at, what are your real numbers? What are your real numbers when it comes to this type of thing, right? When it comes to taking meeting notes and writing recaps. Maybe you don't even have meeting notes. You have phone notes. You're talking to somebody, one person on the phone, or you're talking to 10 of your salespeople, right? Make sure you be as clear and close to whatever you need to say in order to make that happen. Formatting your docs, decks, posts. Remember, you're not just doing a post for Instagram, you got to post for TikTok, you got to post for Facebook, you got to post for LinkedIn. All four of them have different strategies. And if you want to throw X in there, of course you can, right? All five of them will have a different strategy. You don't just use one post for everything, but you could take that one post and make five different posts. Remember, we talked about that last week? All right, so that's what we want to do. You want to be able to maximize that one post into five opportunities or more. Okay, tracking the competitors and reading industry updates. Let's just say you only take 2 hours to do that, right? Then that number is going to change. We're still doing $100 an hour for that person, and this is just one staff member. So imagine if you had 3 or 4 staff, right? You're still going back and forth through 5 or 6 times with the AI tool, right? And you're working 45 hours a week. Nothing happened. So here we go. 20 hours every week is being worked on for this particular thing. $90,000 a year is being lost, right? And every time you go back and forth, it's reading this. So how hours lost every week? 20. The time your team is bleeding to repetitive work before AI can help, right? 20 hours. So you're basically hiring a person for 20 hours. You're going to create an agent that does some of this work, and it's going to save you 20 hours a week. Let that sit in. If you was to pay somebody, you're probably going to pay more than $90,000 because number one, you're going to pay for them to show up. Then you're going to give them a benefit package. The whole onboarding process takes hours and hours of other people's time. So let's say you got a manager, you got a team lead, and you have, HR people. They're all spending hours, which clocks up dollars for this one individual. All right. And then money you're already spending on this work, but now you can see it. $90,000 is what it costs for those 20 hours. And so, how can we efficiently do work? Well, we want to get our efficiency rate down. Right now, 17% is critical. We got too much going back and forth, which means your iteration is based on probably all kind of knowledge versus locking it in, or you haven't trained your staff on how to utilize the tool more effectively, or you haven't trained the tool on who you really are with your voice. So now you got to go right back to what we talked about in the beginning. So this is so important, y'all. All right. So put in the chat, put in the comment, wherever you're seeing this. How important is this to you in your business that you save these amount of hours and then you save this amount of dollars? What could you do with another $90,000 in your marketing? Right? So remember I said I was going to have this toothbrush holder company. So I'm looking at, man, $90,000 a year, I can really save. I can, also get my agent to be doing some of this stuff. And so every back and forth makes the AI reread everything you've already said 6 times. That's 13,920 words, right? And what that means in English, slower replies, bigger bills, and the same work taking longer because it's reiterating over and over and over. Fewer, sharper prompts equal fast answers, lower cost. So now that tells you that you need to work on your prompting, your prompt language, which some people call prompt engineering. There are frameworks. We gave you a framework over the last couple of weeks that you can use when you're building out information for your AI. We gave you a process which we call workflow. Workflow. So those are things that's going to help you maximize this opportunity and maximize your money. All right. And then what we want to do first, we want to reclaim our number one leak this week. Right? What's our number one leak this week? We want to reclaim it. So the biggest drain is formatting documents, decks, and posts. Here are two prompts to help you, and we're going to test them in a moment, right? So format the text below into a clean one pager, title, three section heading, short paragraph, and a bulleted takeaway list at the bottom. Keep every fact, cut nothing, right? And so what we're going to do, we're going to copy the prompts and we're going to go see how they work. And again, you could use ChatGPT, which we showed you. You can use Gemini, which we showed you. You can use Claude, which we showed you. You can also use, and that's Gemini is Notebook LM, remember that. And you can also use Perplexity. I mean, you can use any of those tools. We're going to do, for the sake of our time today, we're going to use Claude. Okay? So I'm going to cut this. And remember, I got to come up with an arbitrary paste information for the text, right? Of what I'm actually doing because I want to format the text below. So I'm going to go and let's go to Claude. Boom. All right. You should be able to see Claude here. And hopefully we can just get Claude to working for us. Say, hey, Claude, I need to complete the following workflow. Workflow. And then all we're going to do is paste it in there. Now remember, we didn't have the text right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of that text, right? And just for the sake of time, I'm going to create some arbitrary text in ChatGPT. All right. So Claude, hey Claude, I don't spell Claude wrong. I need to complete the following workflow. Reformat the text below into a cleaner one pager, right? So I'm gonna go actually I'm gonna go to Google. No, I'm gonna go to let's go to Google because that way we don't use the AI. All right. A terribly written um, um, text information. Right? So it's like, oh, let me go find something. Bad writing, right? What does it look like? How do we fix it? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here, and a lot of writers worry about blah 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 blah. I'm just gonna use this text right here, and I'm gonna take it, and now I'm gonna go to ChatGPT, and for the sake of this, I'm gonna say, create a terribly. Oh wait, I need to start a new chat. That was my last customer. All right. Create a terribly written document from the following. All right. And I'm going to give it to him and let him do it. Crazy. All right. Okay. Writing is good, bad, how you, okay. So it's doing it, it's writing it. Maybe there isn't any bad writing. I don't know. Right. So it's doing it. And I like that. I don't have to do it much. It's going to do grammar, etc. And say the end. Awesome. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy it. Boom. Then we're gonna take it over to our system, right? We cut and paste this into Claude, and I'm gonna paste that text right in here. Now I might have a text limit, but I'm gonna go for it. And now I'm gonna tell Claude to go for it. Reorganize this into clean, professional one pager while preserving all the facts and ideas. So this was what you're using. So I want you to think about you having an agent actually do this work, where it will scrape out the information from your email address or whatnot, or your staff will just give it to it. And then this is the thing that the agent will do. Okay. So it's going to preserve the facts. It's going to get a professional one pager and it's going to rewrite it. It's going to look at the syntax. That's the order of how things should be right. It's also going to look at the context to make sure that the content matches the context. Like, what are you talking about? And look at it go to work, right? And so this is really powerful. And look at that. Is writing good or bad? And how do you know? Understanding writing quality. Whether writing is good or bad or subjective depends on multiple factors. Many successful books, such as Twilight, works by Dan Brown, and 50 Shades of Grey, have been criticized for literary professional despite selling millions of copies. This raises an important question. If they're truly bad, why do so many people buy them? And this is so key. All right. They're written badly, but that's the powers that be saying that. So what do you do? First drafts are not final drafts. That's the same thing when you're writing something with an AI tool, right? Editing transforms writing. So you got to get an editor or you create an editor with your agent. So you can have an agent editor. Okay. And then you got your key takeaways. So as you can see, this has lined it up very nice. Good and bad habits. Popular writing differs from literary writing. First draft's supposed to be rough drafts. Expect first drafts to be contain awkward sentences, and so on and so on and so on. So now you have something that is formatted well, written well, that you now can double check. And remember, you're a human in the loop. You're going to go through this, read it, make sure it has all the elements that it needs to have. Can it be even improved? You probably can. It might have even says, hey, done. I reformatted the text. Here's the three areas. Here's your key takeaways. Every fact from the original was preserved and organized for clarity. All right. Have you ever had somebody send you a crazy email and you like trying to figure out what the heck do you want? You can use this for that. All right. So let me go back to where we were in our friction. And now I'm going to say, hey, rewrite. Now I could have copied both prompts, but I didn't want to do that. I'm going to tell it here. All right. And it says rewrite this for under 120 words. That's the key. I'm coming back and I'm going to put this prompt in here, paste it. No emojis, no hashtags, one clear idea. Boom. And now it should take that same document, extract the core principles and core information from it, and regenerate me something that would really, really work. Okay. So now it's verifying the information. I said 120 words. And I will say that some AI tools, they'll get you close. Not 100%, 120 words, but we're pretty close. Okay. So here's done. 5 LinkedIn posts, each one under 120 words. Why bestsellers, critical acclaim, finish the draft, second draft, don't miss the work. And now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts. All right. So what did we just do? We saved our we saved ourselves time, energy, and money. Okay. By creating a teammate that understands our voice and who will write in a clear, concise manner. Context changes everything. Software instructions should be clear and direct. A novel requires narrative depth. Poetry thrives on brevity. Instruction manuals do not. The rules for good writing aren't universal. They shift based on the purpose and the audience. Stop comparing your work to writing in a different context. Judge your writing against its actual goal, not an arbitrary standard. And remember, we told it no emojis, no hashtags, no nothing, right? And we could take this, and let me give you one more really cool thing. That was for a LinkedIn post. Now create as a Facebook post, right? And so it's going to take the same information. It's going to re-engage it for another part of social media and now give you something that's more of a conversational tone, right? And so all the key ideas in writing were written from friendly sharing professional advice. All right, so I'm waiting for it to show what it is. All right, and I'm going to say, hey, you forgot to show it. I don't see, I don't see the the update. All right, and so it needs to do it over here. And there's a Facebook page post. Your first draft is supposed to be terrible, and that's okay. I know. You read what you wrote and think, this is awful. I'm not a real writer. But here's the truth. Twilight was criticized as poorly written, so were books by Dan Brown and Fifty Shades of Grey. Yet, millions of people loved them. Why? Because there's no such thing as universal good writing. It depends on your audience and what you're trying to accomplish. Doesn't that sound cool? Right? And yes, your first draft will have awkward sentences, grammar mistakes, same idea repeated 3 times, brilliant ideas at 2 a.m. that make zero sense in the morning. So that's not a sign that you could quit. That's a first draft being exactly what it is, a first draft. Okay, you guys get it? Here's the really cool post, and you're ready. All right? We just had to give it time to kind of show up. And there you go. So what we do, we took our friction point and we turned it into this really cool thing. And what we would do is take our agent and give it these instructions and put it to work for us. Okay? And so that's what we would write. And so we paste it in. And now where do you go from here? All right. Well, we go into more because we're going to use the we got more to come in reference to the friction index. All right. Because we're gonna go over here and then we're gonna put out information in here, which I did already, and that's what we would do. Okay. What's your 3 points? Morning briefing, deposit money for sales, make a post, blah blah blah. We did that and we filled in the friction index, and then we download that friction index and hand it off so that now we have something that we can consistently, you know, use in our business or with our teammates. All right. So that is what is called reducing the friction. And what we did, we said, how much does this friction actually cost us? And we used the index tracker where we look at real costs and we figure out what this is really doing for us. And then we went ahead and say, here's the real by the numbers. And if we, change it down, then of course the number goes down. But this is what we found: 20 hours every week. That this type of work is costing us 90,000 a year. So here's another thing that a CEO could do, or you as a CFO or COO. You could look at this and go, I want to get a freelancer. If I can get a freelancer, I now know how much it costs for this work. It's going to save me 17% of my energy, right? So I'm going to go, and instead of saying 90,000, I might go 1/3 and hire somebody for 10 hours, 30,000, or maybe the whole 20. I'll put it out there, see if somebody bites. Now I'm actually using the savings that is real money savings to get work done. And then, of course, if I send my staff to the commonsacademy.com to get trained and they learn this stuff, then they can put this to work for your company. And that saves you countless dollars because we just did one thing: posts. We haven't done images. We haven't done anything related to the post, right? We haven't talked about the time it takes to actually put the post in, review it, check the comments, grab the data from the post, and then use that data to do better. We haven't done any of those things. What we're talking about is where the friction is for your everyday time consuming task. And how can you take that and make it work for you? All right. So I want to again invite you to the Commons Academy, right? I'm gonna go back to find it, fence it, force it, one simple path, spot where AI helps, keep it safe, and make it your own, right? We did that, we fenced it, and now we're moving forward, right? And you do that by going into our library and opening the library and joining. Again, there are some other things you can do, right? If it's for your team, it's for your department, it's for your organization. You figure out where you fit on this continuum, right? And then again, watch live sessions. The repeats are in there, depending on your membership engagement. We have the live sessions, we have the demystifier, and we have the private sessions that you can actually qualify for. And then, of course, we have a membership other things. Safe by default for the free tools, right? You can do that. Pick a first step, join a live session, start learning, or bring it to the team. So if you said start learning, now you just pick what do you want to learn, right? You want to make a hard call, take the archetype, right? You just join, sign up, and go in there. And then when you go in, you're going to get into the library. And here's the library. And here's some real cool stuff that you can start. And here's some freebies in there, right? Start here. Foundation Toolkit. Brain, voice, fence, reach, your brief. Okay, find it. Feed it what you know, right? We talked about this. How do you describe what you do? Your bio, your best friend, So here's some finished work. This is give you a walkthrough and so that you can really, really build in what you need. All right. So again, live sessions. They're every Thursday. They're free. You could tell your neighbors, you could tell your teammates, jump on these things. I'm in the evening. Our illustrious leader is in the daytime, Crystal Frisch, and so she's there. You can do the RSVP. That's free, and then you can see these recordings inside the library once you are a member. And again, the membership portal, you can decide what you, I'm already in the membership, so that's why it just opened up. But you can decide what type of member you want, right? Want to be. And you can do all kind of different stuff. We have another session coming up in a couple of weeks, right? I mean, excuse me, in the next week. And so be ready for that. We got a holiday week coming up as well, right? So we got stuff happening. Next one, leading the change, adoption without fear, demystifier, how to use it, your first simple agent, right? Getting it going. And then of course, adding a human checkpoint, making sure you check it and it's doing what it needs to be done. All right, so I want to thank the Commons Academy and Acute Insights. They are the sponsors for tonight's webinar. Quick overview, what we call micro learning, micro engagement. Tonight was not about me just talking at you, but walking you through a process so that you can really, really do well. And our next live is Leading the Change, Adoption Without the Fear, Thursday, August 20th. Again, all you got to do is sign up for it, right? And go from there. You want to learn more about us? Here's the information on the about. We started with the fear of becoming obsolete. You don't have to be that person. FUBU is real. All right, FUBO, the fear of being obsolete. You want to figure out where do you fit in that. Okay? And then here's our facilitator. I'm Dwayne Ross, innovative leader here. Holly Wickens, Crystal Frias, Eric Frias, Ted Koch, and Liz. These are all the principal people of this particular area, co-founders, facilitators, etc., etc. All right. You can look at our programs. We got one method, public and private sessions. Right. We have this. You can start for free again. And of course, you just sign up. Here's how you sign up. They're right here. Encore is happening right now. All right. And then you got all these other ones that you can go ahead and sign up for. So do yourself a favor, do that. The Upper Shore community rate, all right? As a proud Maryland organizer, we invest in the community. So you got that rate. Just let us know about that. And then, of course, we have our live sessions and it's free to attend. And there's so much information here. So take your time, come through, figure out what you want to do, why you want to do it. We do have flash missions, 15 minutes. These are things that you can do and get a win real quick, right? You always make the final call, pick one, and do what you want to do, right? Let's say, you just want to pick one. All right. Here it is. Ask your own work a useful question, right? So you can jump in here and start your mission here. You can start building your voice mission, run the fence mission, meeting notes mission, FAQ mission. All these missions are sitting here for you. All right. Tools again, we have practical tools, real easy to use, right? We're going to be talking about this Haas mapper that's really, really, really coming up. Human owned zones. That's what we call it, Haas. Okay, HOZ. All right. We have some other starter things, your archetype, your playbook, and then of course I already showed you the library. Other than that, I don't have any more for you. I want to say thank you for coming to the Commons Academy. Become the person AI can't replace. See, AI has taken jobs. No, not really. Jobs will be lost by the people who don't know how to leverage AI, right? So if you can figure out how to be the professional who can thrive in the AI world, then you're going to be in a better position than most people who are afraid of it, waiting for it to stop or whatever. I don't know what they're waiting for. AI is almost embedded in everything we do. All right. So practical training for experienced professionals. You can look at the things I've already shared. Three ways to get going. Start here, join the library, bring it to your team. It's really up to you how you decide. Remember, the foundation is free. So you have all kind of stuff there for your foundational information. And then you can use the different pieces and join our next show. So if you want to see some things from the past, here's some recent sessions you can watch on demand, right? Fence, your AI can safely put this in. They are not exactly the same. I want to put that out there. There are some differences. So you can watch one method of being taught and then go to a different method, okay? And like give you this example, build your brain, okay? Real cool stuff. And all you gotta do is check it out, or you can watch it on YouTube. All right, I am about to jump out of this bad boy. I want to say thank you again to Crystal and Eric and Holly and the team. And I'm going to go ahead and click off on this bad boy. I think it should be still going pretty well. All right, the recording is going to stop.